I'm Larry Fedoruk, and this is a new episode of my weekly podcast, Later That Same Life. Stories and social commentary on topics of a personal issue and of shared public interest. Many podcasters, such as myself, are smaller independent operations trying to grow our audience one listener at a time. So if you enjoy this or other episodes, please share with a friend. Thanks.
Season 2, Chapter 8, AMD.
What is AMD? Well, I can tell you because I have it. But before I do, this disclaimer. I am not some official spokesperson for AMD. Hello, I'm Larry Fedoruk, well-known and beloved former radio talk show host. And though I spent my storied career in an audio medium, my vision is important to me. That's why AMD must be eradicated in our lifetime. For only $1 a day, less than the price of a cup of coffee, you can donate now by sending your heartfelt contributions to... Yeah, so I'm not the AMD guy. But if you do want to send me money, I can assure you that all the proceeds will go towards something really nice for myself. AMD is an eye disease. It stands for age-related macular degeneration. Age-related, that's one word, it's a hyphenate, macular degeneration. What a terrible name. Of course, what disease or ailment has a cool name? And even if it is cool sounding, it becomes associated with the awful thing. You know, lymphoma is so terrible, but what a cool name. Lymphoma. Sounds fun. Is it an app? Or Lou Gehrig's disease. Ooh, Lou Gehrig disease. I have a disease that'll make me a great baseball player. No, you don't. Age-related macular degeneration is more of a description than a name, isn't it? If you have it right off the top, it's age-related. Oh, that means you're young and vibrant. Hardly. It's a sign of aging inevitable. We all prefer it to the alternative. Yet, when we start to experience some of the consequences of it, it's like, oh, crap. This now? Age-related macular degeneration. The degeneration of the macula. All right, Professor Dr. Larry Science, what do you got? The macula is a part of the retina. It's at the back of the eye, and it's responsible for our central vision, color vision, and the fine detail we are able to see. It also contains photoreceptor cells that help us detect light. And getting back to age-related, it's probably why there's always so many lights on at your grandparents' house. Why is it so bright in here? What are you doing, shooting a movie? The macula just kind of wears down. Nobody knows exactly what causes that. It can be heredity, or my theory, after a few years you've seen enough already. Time to dim it down. If you do remember me from my talk radio show, you may also remember that I did talk about it on the show. Not from a soapbox, but because it is so common. The most common cause of vision problems as people get older. And you can't just get stronger glasses or have a surgery. Once you got it, you got it. I talked about it then, and I'm talking about it now because it is so common, and I hope to encourage people to do something about it if they feel they have it. Because while there is no cure per se, there is a medicine. A medicine, and you get it by injection. Injection in the area of the ailment. Well, you know what I'm saying? A needle in the eye. Every few weeks for the last number of years, I get a needle in the eye. I go to the eye clinic. They strap me into a big metal chair, duct tape down my wrists, ankles, and forehead. Then a doctor fires a dart gun from across the room repeatedly until he hits my right eye. No, but I do have the AMD in my right eye. Eventually both, I guess, but right now it's my right eye that gets the treatment. I'm lucky because I detected it early. I had a playground minor eye injury in grade school, ended up causing some nearsightedness. I got glasses. So with eyeglasses came a discipline to get my eyes checked regularly. Prescription never changed that much. The eyeglasses changed only with vanity. I experimented with contact lenses for a while. Pretty usual stuff. Then about 5 years ago, I noticed a weird little thing. I got these tiny floating flashing things in my right eye, and only when there was a sudden change in light. Like I'm driving my car on a sunny day and I go through an underpass for like 5 seconds. I would get the floater things, and then they were gone. Well, that's weird. I must be just tired or something, Same underpass every day, there it is again, and again, and again. Immediately, I went into completely illogical medical self-diagnosis. It works this way. If I don't go to the doctor, then nothing will be wrong, and maybe it'll go away. But if I go to the doctor, of course they will find something. That's what they do. They look for stuff. This went on for about a month. Finally booked an eye appointment. That's when I first heard the term age-related macular degeneration, AMD. And get this, the eye doctor has to recommend me to a specialist at the clinic, the eye clinic. That's scary, man. The regular doctor can't even help me. I go to the eye clinic, and that's where I find out about the needle. Lucky for you, Larry, there's some new science on this. Medicine for the eye. Yeah, wait, there's no pill, capsule, gummy, eye drops, salve, eye ointment, a macula balm of some sort I could apply. Nope, only the syringe, and it goes into your eye. Instantly, I remembered the old joke where the guy goes to the doctor and the doctor says, "Hey, are you taking that cough medicine I gave you last time?" And the patient says, "No, I tasted it and I decided I'd rather have the cough." That's kind of where I was at. Do I want a needle in the eye or blindness? Well, I don't want to be blind, but it is a needle in the eye. I'm not afraid of needles, but in the eye? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, new science. I was among the first to get this treatment. It's about $3,000 per shot. But it's covered. I live in Canada. I'm covered. I don't have to choose between blindness or bankruptcy. All right, let's do it. The medicine brand name is Ilea. Ooh, I bet they spent a lot of time on that. Wonder what some of the other finalists were before they settled on Ilea. Eye stab, vision vax, sight serum. I think we're going with Ilea. Actually, drug companies spend a lot of time naming their various medicines. Recently, you may have heard that the major COVID vaccine manufacturers gave names to their meds. Pfizer became Comirnaty, an agglomeration of the words COVID-19 immunity and mRNA, which is the technology that makes up the vaccine, and the whole thing is supposed to evoke community. Brilliant. AstraZeneca became Vaxzevria. Not even going to try and explain that one. And my fave, Moderna, became Spikevax. There's a jab you want. I mean, early on, Pfizer was considered the Rolls-Royce of vaccines, but who wants to tool around in a Comirnaty when you could be driving the sporty Spikevax? Everyone wondered why the name changes. Well, it wasn't even a name change, it was names given. As I said, these companies spend a long time coming up with the names. They're already thinking about it even when the drug or treatment is still in the lab, identified by only a serial number. They are already having marketing people coming up with all the cool names. Miraculousness Zima! Yeah, and they have studies and focus groups. The process can take months, years sometimes. Okay, thank you, focus group, for coming. Okay, the finalist names are Hardonia, Bonorama, or Viagra. Yeah, sorry, I'm male, so I'm basically 12 years old mentally. Anyway, for the COVID vaccines, they didn't have the time to do all of that. They just had to get them out. So they put them out under the corporate banner, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, etc. Then marketing worked on some names. Those are the ones we just recently heard. So I get Ilea through a needle in my eye. When I first started to go to the clinic, my treatment was every 4 to 6 weeks. But the medicine is helping. Modern medicine, science. Amazing what happens when you believe. Because now I go about every 12 weeks. They run a few tests, then before you know it, I'm in the big chair with the chief doctor getting the needle in my eye. I always compare it to dental work. Except, believe it or not, this one is actually better. So when you go to the dentist to get a filling, first they use the cotton swab on the gum or cheek area to numb the spot for the needle. The swab is usually deliciously flavored pina colada at my dentist. It tastes terrible, and it doesn't work. The needle still hurts like hell, and then your face is numb, and then they work on your teeth. Usually that's pretty painless, but it does take a long while. At the eye doctor, he puts these numbing drops in my eye. Within minutes, I'm ready for the eye Novocaine or whatever that needle is, and I get a quick poke of the numbing solution, which I don't feel at all. Within 10 minutes of that, he's injecting the medicine. I actually like that part when the medicine goes in because it's like a free lava lamp show in my right eye for about a minute. They do a quick wash, and I'm out of there in under 30 minutes, no pain. Turns out getting a needle in the eye is not nearly as painful as dental surgery. I mean, I fully expected to be the Vision version of Dustin Hoffman in the movie Marathon Man. Is it safe?
Is it safe?
I don't know what you mean. I can't tell you if something is safe or not unless I know specifically what you're talking about.
Is it safe?
Yes, it's safe. It's very safe. It's so safe you wouldn't believe it.
Is it safe?
No, it's not safe. It's very dangerous. Be careful.
It's a piece of cake, man. Although I completely stress out about it every 12 weeks. Actually, complete full disclosure, when I first started going there, I was in pain when the freezing came out. It's like this. Imagine a tiny pinprick on your finger. Doesn't really hurt unless you start to touch the spot. Then in a day or two, it's completely fine. Imagine a tiny pinprick on your eyeball, but your eyelid is constantly touching it, so it hurts like a grain of sand in your eye that you can't get out. And it would last for hours. I have a good high pain threshold, but that was killer. Never felt anything worse. I think over the many months, the doctor has improved his eye poke technique because, knock on wood, the last year or so, there's no irritation after the freezing comes out. That's usually where the stress comes in. Well, that and going into a medical building during COVID, I mean, they follow all the procedures, they go beyond, but still. My other complaint, which I've mentioned to them, is that they are an eye clinic. Vision issues. But they hand out these appointment cards with this really tiny printing. I said to them, you're an eye clinic. Can you spend a little extra on ink and paper? Give me something bigger I can actually read? They laughed. They said, oh, good one, Larry. Yeah. But they haven't changed anything. My vision, generally, mostly great. I mean, pretty good. It isn't what it used to be. I mean, I have AMD. There are changes to the way I see things. Reading a book or a magazine is nearly impossible. I can see it fine, just really have to struggle to see the details of the letters. Reading on a screen is much easier. If I try and read directions on a package, it's difficult. Especially if packaging is like yellow print on red, forget about it. reading glasses and magnifiers, pretty much useless, at least for me. I've taken to using my cell phone camera to follow directions. I focus on the print, I enlarge. Oh, yes, it's a 1/4 cup of margarine, of course. Yes, good, all right. Kraft dinner, here we go. Look at me getting along with a physical handicap. Psychologically, it was tough to deal with for a while, but now it's just a way of life. It's AMD. There are people who are a lot worse off. I'm getting free medicine to keep it at bay. I still have most of my sight. There's a few other little things. Part of the definition of it is a loss of color and detail and contrast. So, for example, white letters on a black keyboard, not so good. Just see a lot of black. Hard to find those little white letters. So I'm a good typist. I don't necessarily have to look at the keyboard when I'm typing, but sometimes you have to look. So instead, I got a keyboard with large letters that light up in the color of my choice. Solved that problem. I noticed that if I'm driving and it's a cloudy day and you are crossing the gray pavement in a gray ski jacket, well, you'd be virtually invisible to me and I'd probably run you over. So I gave up driving. But, it's COVID. I'm not going anywhere anyway. And there's walking and cabs and Uber. And someday, I might even get back on a bus. Facial recognition is also way down. I'd be a terrible witness to a crime. Was this the man you saw pull a gun on the cashier? Yeah, geez, I don't know. Why don't you ask him? To really recognize you, I would need a bit more light, and you'd have to be a little closer to me. But the benefit of not being able to make out specific facial features is I look terrific in a mirror lately. The loss of some light and detail has this other odd effect when it comes to facial recognition. How do I say this? Well, the darker your skin is, the harder it is for me to see detail in facial features. Before COVID, when I was out a lot, I lived in fear that I might mistake one of my black friends for another one of my black friends. Oh, Larry, you thought I was Jordan. Oh, so we all look alike to you, is that it? No, I have a racist eye disease. It didn't happen, but I'll tell you, it came close once. True story. I was meeting a black friend for breakfast. I was there first, and I'm standing in the please wait to be seated line at the diner, when I see this tall black guy walk up to the back of the line. I give him the big wave, looking right at him. Hey, Joe! He's looking at me, and I realize it ain't Joe. And so I actually did this. Walked through the lineup right toward him, past him, waved, and yelled, Joe, again. At absolutely no one, just an imaginary spot on the sidewalk. I faked it. That's how embarrassed I was. When Joe showed up, I did not share the story with him. I have a racist eye disease. Every once in a while, I'll get these little black floaters, so I'll spend like 2 minutes chasing around a fruit fly that doesn't exist. Or the opposite. Wow, I'm getting a lot of little black floaters today. Oh, no, wait. Those are actually toast crumbs on the counter. Clean up your kitchen, for gosh sakes. Anyway, I wanted to talk about it only because it is so common, as I said, and so many people will get this age-related macular degeneration, the AMD. And I'm not making this a cause or anything. I'm just considering a play on a modern theme. If you don't see something, say something. Because I recognized the problem early, sought consultation, found out there was treatment, and sucked it up to get a needle in the eye, I will probably have pretty good vision a lot longer than if I didn't do these things. For each of my 2 COVID shots, the health worker asked me if I had any issue with getting a needle in my arm. Are you kidding? I'd tell them. Every few weeks I get a needle in my eye. They were very impressed. Anyone could see that.
Later That Same Life is a weekly podcast series written, voiced, and produced by Larry Fedoruk. A new episode every Thursday. LarryFedoruk37 at gmail.com.